Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Open Sports Page. I'm Sid Rosenberg. My lovely co-host Amber Wilson is out sick today, so once again, I'll be flying solo. Plenty to talk about on this program. We'll discuss several hot stove topics in baseball, but first, let's focus on the gridiron as we take a look at the front page. Now, it may have taken them 20 years, but the Cardinals got their first win on Monday since moving to the desert, beating the 49ers on Monday 29-24. Kurt Warner having a big year, 328 yards, 3 touchdowns. The defense comes through with a game-winning goal line stand. A bad job down the stretch by the 49er coaching staff. Mike Singletary, who won a Super Bowl with the Bears, Mike Martz, who coached the Rams to a Super Bowl, should know better than to run the football twice with no timeouts. They end up giving up the football on the Cardinal 2-yard line with a legitimate chance for the 49ers to steal a win on the road. Instead, Arizona now goes to 6-3, tied with the Redskins for the third best record inside the NFC, behind the 7-2 Panthers and the 8-1 New York Football Giants. Kurt Warner, by the way, rumors of a contract extension, maybe a 2-year deal. Open Sports will get that to you as soon as it's official. And on top of that, by the way, he is poised to win his third MVP. Now, the honeymoon in New Orleans appears to be over for Jeremy Shockey, the outspoken former Giant tight end. Got benched late in the Saints' loss to the Falcons on Sunday following a heated discussion with quarterback Drew Brees following a missed block and a drop pass by Jeremy Shockey. So here's Shockey, who in New York had his problems with Kerry Collins and Eli Manning, and eventually the Giants won a Super Bowl without him with Kevin Boss. They dealt him to New Orleans. He was seemingly happy, but now Billy Miller is getting the playing time late here. Shockey in only 3 of the 30 fourth-quarter offensive plays for the Saints. It is becoming obvious again that another football team feels like they could be just as successful, if not more, without the multiple Pro Bowler. And Jeremy Shockey still has a very, very big ego and contract upset now in New Orleans. With the success of so many old quarterbacks like Kurt Warner in Arizona, Kerry Collins in Tennessee, and Brett Favre with the New York Football Jets, another 40-year-old is looking for another chance. The old gunslinger Jeff George wants back in the NFL, and despite not playing in the league since 2001, you're talking about 7 years now, Jeff George feels that his arm is still strong enough that he can contribute, just not as a starter. Should teams take a look as Jeff George as a backup is the question here. And look, arm strength was never an issue with Jeff George. I remember Jeff George in college, Illinois, Purdue. This guy had a gun. Maybe the best arm I've ever seen. In fact, when you talk to NFL people and they talk about what's going on at the combines, no one ever had a more impressive combine at the quarterback position in the history of the game than Jeff George. He had that one magical season in Atlanta. He had 3 1,000-yard wide receivers with Metcalf, Emmanuel, and Terrence Mathis. But for the most part, Jeff George never came close to realizing his potential and his physical attributes at the next level. I know Dante Culpepper is starting right now in Detroit for the Lions, so anything is possible. But I would say this, Jeff George, it was over in 2001. It's over now in 2008. Try the veal. We'll take a short break when we get back here on the OSP. I've got more to talk about, including offseason hot stove baseball, a bunch of trades, some signings, and the Cy Young Award winner inside the National League. We are back right after this.
So you think you can tackle a pro? There's only one way to find out. Click on fantasy at opensports.com.
Hey, everybody, back here on the OSP. I'm Sid Rosenberg flying solo today. My gorgeous co-host Amber Wilson still out sick. Now, baseball free agents still can't sign with other teams until November the 14th, but that hasn't stopped clubs from shopping and swapping their current stars. A big trade in Major League Baseball on Monday night. The Rockies traded one of the best outfielders in baseball, Matt Holliday, to the Oakland A's for pitcher Greg Smith and closer Houston Street. Holliday becomes a free agent after next season, so now the question becomes, will Oakland sign this guy? And really, it's kind of a sad commentary on baseball. I was talking about this with Mike Barnacle from MSNBC, a diehard Boston Red Sox fan, earlier today, about how some of these teams just can't hold on to their big-time players. Yes, the Mets can do it. The Yankees can do it. Maybe the Dodgers will do it with Manny Ramirez this offseason. But you have a team like Colorado, and they have let a lot of talent go the last couple of years. So when a guy like Matt Holliday becomes a star in Colorado, odds are he's not going to be there for more than 4 or 5 years because the money's going to dry up and he's going to want the big money someplace else. So he'll play for Oakland this year, become a free agent next season. Another trade inside the National League featured the Florida Marlins trading lefty Scott Olson and outfielder Josh Willingham to the Washington Nationals in exchange for second baseman Emilio Bonifacio and 2 other prospects. Some say the Marlins had enough of Scott Olsen. They've got plenty of young pitching already. Josh Bellingham struck out way too much, and the Marlins are trying to play some more small ball this year, being they struck out so much last year. They've got some good young outfielders inside the organization, but this is also some more salary dumped by a Marlin baseball team that traded away their first baseman, Mike Jacobs, to the Royals a couple of weeks ago, despite a 32-home-run season. So Marlins getting better defensively, adding some speed, some young pitching, and reducing payroll. When it's all said and done, though, Marlin management says last year they spent the league low $22 million. They expect to spend $35 million this year, a $13 million increase. It would still put them at the very bottom of Major League Baseball. And the Padres, they withdrew their $4 million offer to all-time saves leader Trevor Hoffman, leaving him without a job. And you look at a team like the Florida Marlins, who are going to make their last year's closer, Kevin Gregg, available anytime soon. Or perhaps the New York Mets, looking for a closure with the the Billy Wagner injury. They're also talking about K-Rod out of California, but a guy like Trevor Hoffman can easily end up in Florida and New York. Did, by the way, start his career in Florida. He was eventually traded to San Diego in the trade that sent Gary Sheffield to the Marlins. Finally, quick congratulations to Giants ace Tim Lincecum, who edged out Brandon Webb of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Webb very nearly won his second straight Cy Young, but it goes instead to Tim Lincecum. He went 18-5 while leading all of baseball in strikeouts on one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball. 18-5 on the Giants. That's going to do it right here on Open Sports Page. Make sure you tune in each and every day for the latest in sports news and opinions. For my gorgeous co-host Amber Wilson, out sick today, I'm Sid Rosenberg. Don't forget to check out the Sid Rosenberg radio show online daily, 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern Time in one of two places, sidrosenberg.com or 790theticket.com. And, of course, keep it right here at opensports.com, where the future of sports on the web is open. We'll see you tomorrow.
For more great videos, check back every day on opensports.com.